Hello everybody, Cooper here, and welcome to my final video for Season 1 of my Port Adelaide Management Career Mode here on AFL 26. I hope you're all doing very well today. This is probably going to be one of the longest videos I've put together on this series so far. Mainly because we've got a lot of stuff that we need to get through today. First and foremost, we've got the National Draft for the AFL, then we've got the Rookie Draft. We've then got the AFLW Grand Final, where we're going to be hopefully trying to get the win over Brisbane up on, I think it's at Brighton Homes Arena, which I think that's the Gold Coast Stadium. I'm actually pretty sure it is. Anyway, it's the old name for the Gold Coast Stadium, I think. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, we did beat them in the qualifying final, so you'd have to say that we are favourites, even though it is in Brisbane. And then after that, we're going to go through the entire AFLW off-season, state period, signings, all of that for the SANFL. We're going to go through the entirety of December, and then we're going to simulate through to the start of the new the new AFL season. There's a lot for us to do, so strap yourselves in. This is going to be a long one. First and foremost, we're going to do the National Draft. As I did say, we do have a few picks in this draft. We don't enter the draft till, I think, the 30s or so. I don't remember exactly where we are picking. I do know that we are hopefully going to be able to be picking somebody from our SANFL pool, because I do know that if we do have a look at the draft players available, we can see that in the SANFL, if we go to Port Adelaide, there are some players here that are eligible to be drafted. Everett Wong is someone that was on our list for a long time after the mid-season point where basically the young players were able to join the SANFL side. So we're going to hopefully be drafting some of those really, really good youngsters, assuming they don't get drafted before they make it down to us. I think at 31 is where we're getting drafting. 38, excuse me. For some reason I thought it was 31. But anyway, I'm not going to go pick by pick, but I am going to be stopping anytime one of our players gets drafted. Hopefully, that won't be the case with the first pick, and it is with Milne. And I don't think anybody else has been drafted that was one of ours. We'll just have to wait and see who else gets drafted. I know Wong is still available. As we get into the 20s here, he's still available. Nobody else that I can recognize has been drafted. Actually, the number one pick was Cole Milne, so actually not a player that was one of mine. My mistake. So none of our players have actually been drafted yet, which is quite nice, actually. Now that we get to it, we're going to enter our pick now, and we can just have a look to see who is actually available. I don't really need another halfback, as we did recruit quite well in that area, so I'm not actually that worried about it, although he is probably the best available prospect. There is also Everett Wong, who was on our SANFL side, and Chase Willie, who was also on our SANFL side, if I can find them a little bit further down below. So yes, Everett Wong did play a fair few games for us. I think he played 6 games for us in the end, averaged about 20 disposals per game, has a bit of potential. I think he is going to be a very, very good player for us if we do get the chance to draft him, and even Chase Willie as well, who probably isn't as good, but I know did play a fair bit as well, doesn't have as good potential. But there is one player that I did have my eyes on from the start of this draft, and I want to take him here just before, I don't want to lose him later down the draft. He was my favourite player in the SANFL last season. It's Arlo O'Brien. He played 11 games, 13 goals from the midfield, a ton of ball, and we're going to be drafting him as a big-bodied midfielder. And even if he doesn't play every game in the AFL, I think he's going to be very, very good for us. So Arlo O'Brien, welcome aboard. And at our next pick at 51, Everett Wong is still available, so that is absolutely the direction we are going to be going in. He is just too good at this point to not draft. So a very easy selection, even though I don't need a halfback / tall defender. I think he is going to be just fine. And now at 57, this is where we're sort of getting into the back end of the draft. McLaughlin is still here. I have no idea why he is still here. I don't know what's wrong with him, because if we have a look at his attributes, he's pretty good, like 71 overall, and obviously there's that potential. I don't know how tall he is. He's only 177 centimeters, so that may be a thing that's, throwing a few people off. Can take a mark. He's got a decent kick in terms of his accuracy. He's good at set shots, funnily enough, even though he's a defender. But I do want to have a look at some of the other young players that I did sort of recruit to my SANFL side. And I'm tossing up between Chase Willie and I think Hamish Lutz is the other one, who he didn't actually play any games for us in the SANFL just because we had a lot of other good options. But I'm actually going to take Dawson McLaughlin with this pick because he is definitely the best player still available to be picked. Just 91 to 99 potential, 71 overall. I cannot believe I'm getting him at pick 57. And now these last few picks, we've still got 6 picks to make. I'm just going to be alternating with Melbourne and Fremantle as they take Bryson Ellis and Ryder Stanton respectively. Chase Willie and Lutz still on the board. I might look to go in more of a mature age option or mature age, see who's available in that respect. Let's see, is this Callum Brown? It is Callum Brown, obviously played for the Giants last year. I think we can pick him up here because I think Chase Willie finally gets drafted. He's off to Melbourne. I was about to say we could probably get either Willie or Lutz in those final picks. I'm going to take Lutz here just to make sure. Or we could go Owen Miles. I did see him pop up, and I believe he is on my shortlist. 189 centimeters tall. Hasn't played a game for Victoria. I think that's Country or Metro. I can never remember who is who. He is interesting because he has just popped up, and he might be the one. I just want to see what other utilities are available. He's definitely the best one available. So I'm going to risk Hamish Lutz not being available with the next pick. And he is still available. So Lutz is going to get drafted in the end. Is it Henry Nicholson? Harry Nicholson. We do need another ruck. 210 centimeters tall. He is huge. Welcome aboard. I mean, it doesn't really matter who we draft at this point because it's Harvey Nicholson, not Henry. Because we have the rest of the picks in this draft. I can see that, I think it's Jason Little is someone that we did have on our team. Played a few games for us, was quite good, but just doesn't have the same potential as Lutz. Obviously, if possible, I still want to keep some players available for our SANFL side. And I feel like I'm just loading up on defenders here. Let's go back to the mature age well, see who else is here. I can see that Jonty Scharenberg is here. There is Tom Downey. I do think that Caleb Poulter, though, is the best player available. Only 23 years of age. He's tall. He can play a number of different positions. And he's still got a little bit of room to grow, although I don't think he will be obviously playing week 1. And we may as well take Jason Little here with the final pick. He's the best player available in terms of youth and potential. So we're going to draft him with our final pick. So we still did get, we drafted 6 defenders. We may have to retrain positions in a way. They'll still be listed as defenders, of course, but we could sort of mold them into different positions via training. Now, in the rookie draft, I would be very surprised if we pick up anybody halfway decent. We'll just see who gets picked up. I know Jared Lyons there gets picked up by St Kilda. This player wasn't initially on my list of players to be, drafted, but Chase Andrews, he's 17 years of age, he's a 70 overall, had an okay sort of country championships, but I think he's got a little bit of potential. We did trade away a fair few small forwards. I don't see him playing a lot of football for us next season. I just thought West Coast got Hugh McCluggage in the rookie draft. Not to be. Parfitt gets drafted by Geelong. And we take Xavier Kardaki with our next pick. We did play a lot in our SANFL side. He's a 73 overall. Has a bit of potential to grow. I dare say he's probably just going to play a lot in the SANFL next year. I very highly doubt he will play for us. Is there anybody else that I'm uber interested in? I know that Dyson Sharp is here. He's a really highly rated prospect in real life. doesn't have a lot of potential in game, but we'll draft him. Why not? There's no downside to drafting him. He's a rookie selection. And with the final pick for our upcoming 2026 roster, is there anybody else? Actually, I'm going to draft, or at least look by overall rating. Let's have a look at the 74s. Who is this? Who are you? Kobe Ryan, I know, played a bit in the SANFL for West Adelaide. Sam Butler used to play for Hawthorn. I think we'll go with Sam Butler. I think that's the right pick. There's nobody else here that's I'm really interested in. Let's go with him. Now, in terms of the new Guernsey numbers, now with the new Guernsey numbers, my other longer sort of single video rebuilds, I tend not to worry about it just because it's not something that is really relevant to the rebuild, but there is some Guernsey number movement that I am going to be implementing for this upcoming season. The first of which will be Jackson Mead. He's going to be changing from 44 to 33, mainly because his dad wore number 33, and I thought that would be a nice touch, I should say. In terms of everybody else, I'm quite happy to leave as is. I don't think there's a major reason to change anybody else, but I'm going to basically go with the players that I think best suit each of the individual numbers. Wanganeen Miller, he's going to get number 4 because obviously that was Gavin Wanganeen's number, and there is some relation there, I believe. Jack Silvani, obviously not going to be wearing number 1, but he will wear number 2. That was his original number at Carlton before Andy Walker retired. Zane Dersma is going to inherit Travis Boak's famous number 10. I think that'll be a good fit for him. Lockie Neal, I do not know what number you are going to wear. I'm quite happy to give you number 8. I think that will be fine. Sam Draper can wear number 13. I think that's, I don't really care about Sam Draper's number. Arlo O'Brien could wear number 11, and I know CJ would want to wear number 23. That was his junior number. In terms of our other big high-profile recruits, is there anybody that I'm missing? Taylor Goad can wear number 21. Warple can wear 14. Newman 15. Hewitt 16. Sharp can wear 19. Nobody's going to wear 20. We're going to leave that free for if Connor Rosie ever wants to join or give up the captaincy, I should say. And then Lee Kalia can wear 24. Wong 26. Little 27. Andrews can wear 30. And then the rest of the numbers I just filled in as not alphabetical, that's numerical is what I'm trying to say. But that is all the numbers done for this upcoming year. And now we've got to assign Guernseys for the the SANFL. I've got to change some of this up because I'm just going to give everybody who gets a new number, they can go back to the end of the... I keep wanting to say alphabet. It's not the alphabet. But I want to give basically all the numbers that are not AFL listed. I want to give them their own number because I want the AFL listed players to keep their numbers when they go down to the SANFL. So excuse me if all these numbers are incorrect as opposed to real life. I do apologize in advance, but everything else should be okay. But now it's time for the main event. The AFLW Grand Final up against Brisbane. We've got 2 of our most important players out with injury, which is going to be a bit of a shame. Marie Maloney is going to be out. If it wasn't for Piper Window or Matilda Schultz, she would probably be the best and fairest this year. I have no idea who I'm going to bring into the side because we are a little short on midfielders. So I'm going to bring in Sachi Syme for now. And Caitlin Pope is also going to come in for Bogue. Obviously, they're not going to start in those positions. I don't know what I'm going to do. We might put Justine Mules in the middle. She can do a little bit of stuff in there. Hannah Ewing can also sit in the middle of the ground. We'll move Gemma Houghton onto a half-forward flank. Syme can be on the wing. Is there any other moves that I want to make at this point in time? We'll put Woodland on the field. We'll put Pope on the bench. I think that's all good. There's no other moves that I need to make. Ballard is absolutely stuffed at halfback. She did actually have quite a good game last week. We'll put Kirsty Lamb on that flank. But this is it. AFLW Grand Final. It might seem silly to adjust my tactics, but the forwards are actually playing quite high at the moment, and I know that Piper Window can feel a little bit isolated down there at times, although I think I will leave it for now. The midfield, I'm actually going to put as a bit more balanced, but obviously just due to the injuries that we do have at the moment, the midfield is a little bit weakened. But without further ado, let's kick on to the grand final. And it's clear skies. It's not the old Gold Coast Stadium. I was completely wrong. I was thinking of People's First Choice Stadium, that one. That's the one I was thinking of, not Brighton Homes. Completely different. But anyway, Port Adelaide running out onto the field for the final time in 2025. We have got one job today. Have a fantastic 4 quarters and destroy the Brisbane Lions like we did in 04. And out come the Lions, just running through a fence, destroying property as they do. We absolutely belted them in the qualifying final. And for whatever reason, we are playing up in Brisbane, I should say, in this grand final. I don't know why we're not hosting. We finished higher on the ladder. I'm thinking there's a bit of a conspiracy as we just witnessed them not run through the banner. That was absolutely terrible. What an atmosphere here in Brisbane. We're going to call heads on the toss. Let's see how friendly that coin is. Brisbane have won the toss. I think they won it in the qualifying final as well, if I'm not mistaken. And they're going to kick to the left of screen. Hype music on. And let's do this. Brisbane get the first clearance of the day. Hands it off to Spark very quickly. Brisbane score within 30 seconds. That was not the start we wanted. And we are, she's really struggling in the middle right now with those lack of quality midfielders. But there is one thing, and I don't want to think too far ahead when I get to the off season. That's a great mark by Dowrick. Is I'm not going to be as realistic with the AFLW side as I am, or tried to be at least, with the AFL side. When it comes down to making decisions. That's a goal. I definitely thought that was touched, but we'll pause that thought for a minute. The skipper for the day, Gemma Houghton, kicks the first for Port Adelaide. As I was saying, I'm going to be just sort of a bit looser with some of the decisions I'm making in terms of putting the team together for next season, because obviously I do want to either, depending on if we win the Premiership or repeat, lose the Premiership or repeat and win another grand final. I want to build something of an all-star team for the AFLW upcoming season. Now, I may trade away some of our older players that have been around the club for a very, very long time. Oh, good spoil from behind. So, and I must admit, I don't know exactly where every single player is from in terms of their home state for the AFLW. So I'm not going to be treating that with as much realism as, you know, I would normally with the AFL. I'm pleading a little bit of ignorance here, so I hope you don't mind, but I also think generally it will be a lot more entertaining to have a few more AFLW high-profile players on the list, as Brisbane have another shot from 50, and they've got 2 in the first. But anyway, that is enough of my off-season plans. It's time to focus on the gameplay, because we are not actually playing that well right now. It's a high tackle, it's a long ball, it's not going to be a goal, but it's a mark to Piper window, and we are definitely going to be going around the corner with this kick, because drop punt territory for Piper window has always been tough. She puts through a second for Port Adelaide. Always good to tie the game. Loose handball in the middle is no good. And now Davidson got a lot of the ball in our last game against Brisbane. Gurmich with a great hand at half back. We need a mark here. Ball goes to ground. Player wide. Finds Schultz. Goes down to full forward window. Takes the mark. Currently leads the AFL in goals this year, but I don't believe she actually won the leading goal kicker award, if I remember correctly. And it's the first behind of the day. And this net behind the goal is really going to be a big challenge for me because I do hate it. It messes with my vision. And I think I might break something if I kick too many behinds today. Great hands by Borg. Going to be kicking back down to full forward. Brooksby's down there. Great hands, and she's going to go back, have a shot, Molly Brooksby. Hopefully we can just sneak this one through. Taking time with her approach, a little bit of a strut. And it's swinging to that left-hand side again. We put through a third. Starting to dominate a little bit more in the middle now. Great tackling once again. That is holding the ball. We just got to wait for players to get back. We've got a few targets. We're heading in the Sachi Syme direction. She is a smaller player. That is a great tackle, though. And this is going to be a tough pocket to kick from. So let's kick it short. Can't take the mark, Piper window. Now done. Well, that is a risky kick. Never kick short. Inside defensive 50. And Shania Goody, she's butchered the kick as well. I'm used to the thing down the bottom moving a little bit faster, and I panicked, and this is going to be a horrible kick. Yep, no good. 2/3 of the way through the first quarter, and we're starting to dominate a little bit. Brooksby trying to chase down Ellinger. That's another free kick. And this time you're going to go back, and hopefully she can put through her second with this kick, because there is a little bit of a right to left happening at the moment. She has expertly done that. It's now a 14-point lead. Ball kicked wide, looking for Dowrick. Can't get the mark. Sort of lost track of the ball, actually. Dawes gets tackled. She just gets up and she... What was that? There was literally no reason to do that. Anyway, Syme can't take the mark. Great tackle once again. That is one thing that has been awesome today, has been our tackling. Piper window can't get it, but she's out the back by herself. She kicks it into next week. And it's a 20-point lead early in the game. Great use of the hands in the midfield already today. And it's another kick over the top. This time to Woodland for what will just be her second disposal. And this is maybe a little bit too close to the left goalpost for my liking. And she's kicked it straight into it. But the rest of the quarter's not done yet. Can't take the mark at the top of the goal square. And Indy to Howard just drops the sitter, actually. Handball over the top. Piper window not paying attention. Syme standing the mark, doing a good job. Hickey has the ball on the wing. Little short kick is intercepted by Borg. Let's see if we can get one more before quarter time. Moores can't take it. But a fantastic tackle. Actually, it's a high tackle, unfortunately. One last forward entry. And the ball almost bounced through for a goal. Actually, I don't know if it did or not. No, it didn't bounce through for a goal. I was a little bit excited there. But it's a fantastic start to this grand final. 5 goals, 3 to 2 straight to Brisbane. Fantastic start. Brooksby with 2, Window with 2. Brooksby has been all over this game so far. 5 disposals, 2 goals, 2 intercept marks, 3 contested marks. Has been amazing. She's got tackles as well. We've got an early contender for BOG. Second quarter underway. Loose handball forward. Just working the ball backwards actually at the moment. Didn't really work out. But the ball now loose at half forward. We've got Wendland running onto it. That's a push in the back. Very, very unusual choice from that Brisbane defender. And Piper window takes the mark inside 50. Lining up for her third. She's had her issues in front of goal this year. And that one is no good, unfortunately. Wendland in the middle of the ground, looking at the Schultz direction. Doesn't take the mark. Doesn't even pick the ball up, but a great tackle. Handball forward. Doesn't find a target. We need a mark here, and oh, Borg, you are a beast. Windows down in the goal square. Needs this mark. Can't take it. Loose hands. One more handball over the top. She forgot to pick it up. She forgot to pick it up. I was too excited. I was running towards it. Didn't pick it up. Kept running. Now we got Schultz in the ruck. Can't find one of her teammates. I can't see a thing right now. That is so annoying. But it hasn't cost us anything just yet. Dowrick. There's a player down in the square. It's actually Shania Goody. Takes it in the hands. Does a fantastic job. Let's swing around on that right foot. See if we can put through the 6th of the game. And we do. Long ball out of the middle. Window has the seat. Takes it once again. And we're going to go with the check side this time around. And hopefully, this won't be terrible. It's not terrible. It's an early 34-point lead. Brisbane need to turn up to keep this game competitive. Abby Dowdrick is injured. I don't know what the injury is. I didn't see a notification. So hopefully it's nothing major. I honestly thought that it was going to be like, your controller is disconnected and we can't help you anymore. So we're going to put Houghton in the guts. Actually, we're going to put Syme in the guts. Houghton can be on the wing. I think that's going to be fine. Not a clue what just happened, but it's okay. We've got it all sorted. Working the ball forward once again. It was kicked over somebody's head. Woodland, I don't think she's got the journey, but we're going to have a go anyway. Going to be kicking from just inside 50, I think. Ashley Woodland. Yeah, slides it to the left, unfortunately. Back out to 35. Brooksby sends it forward for Port Adelaide. I think that was Window with the seat, but didn't actually come away with it in the end. But she's going to get it out the back. Needs to kick it quickly before she gets tackled. She puts another one through. What a hot start. I think she's got 3 now, I believe. Maybe even 4 of Port Adelaide's 8. She could be in line for a big bag today. She's had a pretty quiet final series early on. But these last few weeks, she is starting to come alive. She's got 4 inside the first half. And could be on for number 5 here. And she kicks it absolutely beautifully. It's a 47-point lead before half-time. Ball up at half forward for Port Adelaide. Handball into the corridor. Nobody home. But Schultz going to be sending it long. Who's got the sit this time? Nobody, because it is a rushed behind. And now it is an even 8-goal game. And we're not actually that close to half-time. But it's been fantastic tackling so far. We need to lay 40 for the game. We already have 20. Player running wide. It's Houghton, the skipper for the day. And that's another question. Who's going to be the skipper next year? Because I wouldn't mind giving it to a younger player. Obviously, Rosie is a fairly young player, relatively speaking to other AFL captains. So I'm sort of looking to do the same with our women's side. So if you have any suggestions in the comments on who you want to be the captain for next season, do let me know. The handball over the top. That's a high tackle. And Shania Goody going to have a shot on goal to put the margin beyond 50 points inside the first half. And she does not let her side down. It's a 9-goal lead. Shades of 07 are here. But this time it's in the favour of Port Adelaide. Borg marks at centre half back. Syme is the target forward. Can't take a mark. Loose ball with the hands. Can't find a target. Quick boot. Window with the hands. Actually, just handballs to space. No, she doesn't. Finds Houghton. Need a mark. And we get it via Wendland. No goals for her on the day. But for an even 10-goal lead, it is straight through the middle. Fantastic hit out by Schultz. And I don't think Window's done before half-time. Handball over the top. Unselfish as always. I don't know if that hit the post or not. It did hit the post. I put too much power into the kick and just panicked. Oh, gee. Anyway, It's very close to halftime now. It's a 51-point lead, and it's been an absolute masterclass so far by this team. Been so good. We may get another one here, and it's Woodland. And she's actually yet to join the goal-kicking party as well. There is the siren for halftime. And that is a goal, and it is a 67, I repeat, a 67-point lead at halftime. Brisbane did not score. It has been 7 goals 4-0 that quarter. Window has 5 goals in the first half. It has been absolute domination so far. There is no better word that I can say or I can use to describe how good we have been. We need 40 tackles on the day to get some objectives. 18 spoils to 0 for Brisbane, funnily enough, but we actually haven't really needed to spoil because we've had the ball the whole time. But the tackles have been awesome. The intercept marks have been crushing it. Marks in general have been crushing it. Clearances were dominating. We're actually losing the hitouts, funnily enough, but still winning in the clearances. Free kicks. We have 9 free kicks in the first half. This has just been a powerful, powerful performance. I can't wait to see what we conjure up in the second half. Halftime has come and gone. It's another hit out to Schultz and likely another clearance. Window in space takes it. And she has been all over this game today. Lining up for number 6. Straight through the middle. Poor Brisbane. They did not deserve this on their home turf. But Brisbane not giving up just yet. Trying to work the ball forward. Now in the hands of Ballard. They just turn the ball over at the worst possible spot. And now Houghton, middle of the ground. There's a player running short. And that's Brooksby. And guess who? Window on a lead again. Ball actually is dropped. Another tackle. Doesn't keep it inside. Out forward 50. Conway now looking wide for Bolts. Running forward. Nobody presenting. Just kicks in hope. And Brooksby once again having a fantastic game. If it wasn't for Piper Window, she may be a contender for the Norm Smith. She's been all over the game today. Teakle as well with her tackling. That's not 15. That's incorrect disposal. It's all happening in this the first quarter of the second half. That's a weird thing to say. Great. I mean, Hickey came from about 4 deep there to take that mark. But Foley this time, I can just see what I'm doing here. Not by much though. Kicking down the line. Woodland presents, takes a really clean mark. And now Window needs to take a mark here and does. Ordinarily, I wouldn't have a set shot from this far out. But considering Piper Window's lining up for number 7, I think I'm justified. So hopefully she can put it through and justify my justification. And she has done just that. And the massacre is still continuing. Window, another mark. She could be on for 10 in the granny. We'll just have to wait and see how the rest of it plays out. But there's 8. Only 2 more to go, and it's an 85-point lead. And that's the one thing I don't understand about this grand final, actually, and this final series in general, is we played up against Carlton in the prelim. I did not mean to kick that to Window. And we actually really struggled to get over the line in that one. Obviously, we had a few injuries during the game. And they finished below Brisbane on the ladder, as Piper Window has 9. But then we played Brisbane both in the qualifying final and the grand final. They're higher on the ladder, and we just absolutely belt them. I mean, twice. We won the qualifying final, I think, by 10 goals in the end. So we're just, I guess we have a much better matchup up against Brisbane for whatever reason. I don't know what that reason would be. Handball forward, we probably should have just kicked it. I don't know why I didn't. I think just because I was talking and I was distracted. Anyway, inside 50, it's a 91-point lead. Quick kick on goal, nobody home. Handball over the top, trying to find somebody who can do a quick snap. Not on, unfortunately. Ball over the top, finds Borg. Now we've got a few options here. We could go down the line. It's actually going to fall in the hands of Julia Mills. And she's got it. Justine Mills, excuse me. That's okay. I think it is. 97-point lead. Not done just yet. I mean, it was just over 50, I think, at halftime. And we're only 9 minutes into this quarter. Loose ball over the top. Nobody home. Brisbane, I don't want to give Brisbane another scoring shot for the rest of the game. That is my new goal in life. Okay, good tackle once again. Brisbane with a forward entry. And Borg, another intercept mark. She's been so good today. Players down the line. Schultz. Low key. She's been great all game, obviously, in that ruck. She dominating the hit-outs. Window. Quick kick on goal. And went for 10 and kicked it out in the full. Ballard with the intercept mark. Let's go back and have a shot with Alexandra Ballard. Hasn't had a lot of it today. The ball's not really been down her end, which is probably why I'm taking the shot anyway. It's offline. Now a 98-point lead. But back to Matilda Schultz. She has been low-key, very, very good today. She's been dominating in the ruck, getting a lot of the ball, getting clearances. I don't think she's kicked a goal. That may be incorrect, but she might actually change here. Not by design, but she's done well. Got the 4 disposals to her name, and this for a 100-point lead. And we are stuck on 99, unfortunately, for the time being with that kick. 13 minutes gone in the third quarter. Matilda Schultz takes the mark, kicking down the line. Window needs a mark for 10. And how appropriate that she's going to be the one to get the 10 or the 100-point lead and a 10-goal game in the grand final. She is a superstar. Brisbane pushing forward now. Little kick inside 50 is no good. Couldn't find a target. 105 points is the lead, and it is growing. Loose hands. Gemma Houghton running onto it. Quick little kick forward. Finds to Howe. Little kick around the body. Finds Ewings. And I'm going to have a shot here because three-quarter time is coming very, very shortly. And I want to get one last goal before three-quarter time. And that is straight through the middle. And there is three-quarter time. I don't think we need to do a single thing for the rest of the quarter. 7 goals. 2 to nothing again. So since quarter time, it's been 14 goals, 6 to 0. It has been outstanding. We have been so good today. As I said, there is nothing more I need to say about how well we've played today. Sachi Syme, since she's come into the lineup, has low-key been very, very good. Piper Window, 18 disposals, 13 kicks, 10 goals, 2. I'm very happy that it's 10 goals, 2 and not like 5 goals, 8. So that has been great. Woodland's got 3 behinds. I wish I could change that, but I'm not going to be complaining. How are we going hit-outs-wise? It's pretty even. Hickey has 15. Schultz has 13. Schultz has the score assist as well, which is great. No goals for her just yet. But let's get into the final quarter. Last little words of motivation from our coach. I don't actually know who the AFLW coach is. But Schultz, for the final time this year, launches out of the ruck, sends it down to full forward. We get wrapped up. No good, unfortunately. Couldn't get the perfect start, but Gemma Houghton intercepts the ball very, very nicely. Window sits under it. Sandstrong takes the mark. Could be on 4-11 here. I think she had 5 at halftime, so kicked 5 goals in that last quarter. It was very, very solid. And there's her 6th of the second half. Heading forward once again, straight out of the guts. Window, not done yet. Apart from Whitlock's 17 that he kicked earlier in the year, I think that was down in Geelong. This is probably the best individual game we have had all year. And even better that it's come in a grand final. Unfortunately, we do miss that one at halfback for Brisbane. Kicking inside, nobody home. Handball forward, we got players running on the move. Fantastic tackle once again by Brisbane. Now in the hands of Hickey. Looking wide. Now with Mullins down the line. Brooksby sitting under it. Takes a strong hand. Or strong mark in her hands, I should say. Window. Trying to look over the top. Little quick kick. Drops the ball. Great tackle once again. I think that was Teakle down there. And now we've got O'Dwyer holding out on the grand final logo on centre wing. Davidson at half forward. Looking inside 50 for an option. Looking for Smith probably, but it's Bolts who's going to have a shot on goal. Their first shot on goal since the opening quarter. And Smith, who I think kicked 5 in the qualifying final, has not sniffed it today. And Brisbane, after a stream of consecutive goals, finally get one back. Ball pushing forward now once again. Indy to Howe, takes it in the hands. We've got players running forward once again. Teakle has been great tackling today, but this time is going to take the mark inside 50 and try and line up and extend the lead to beyond 20 goals and officially beat the margin that the AFL men's team, or the AFL team that was, you know what I'm trying to say, from 2007. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, Hodder at halfback. I'm just stumbling over my words now. I cannot believe how well we've played in this grand final. After almost blowing it towards the back end of the prelim against Carlton, I cannot believe how we are going today. Window. Jeez, how has she marked that? Directly in front for a dozen. Just caressed it through beautifully. And there is the 119-point margin. That, I mean, has been long a picture of shame for Port Adelaide. But suddenly, it is now a picture of pride. As it may be beyond 119. The forwards spoiled each other. Window with the tackle, and it's a ball up inside 50. As Schultz now going to be in the ruck. Can't find someone to hit it down to. Great tackling once again. I really hate this netting and roof at these stadiums. The smaller stadiums really does bug me. Quick kick on goal. Actually didn't actually go to one of our players. And another ball up. We got 5 tackles to go in the next 7 minutes to meet one of our match objectives. We get it down. Quick shot on goal by Windows. A Window, I should say. She was tackled, unfortunately, so ended up out in the full. Now, Ballard standing on Hodder. And Brisbane get one back. I wasn't really commentating because my voice is absolutely knackered. I'm recording this episode and the previous episode back to back. And then once I think the game's over, I'm going to have a little bit of a break, and then I will do the off-season for the AFLW as O'Day gets just pushed in the back. Let's send this down. Who's standing on Houghton? Nobody, apparently. Short little kick. Window just out the back by herself. And you know what time it is. I've butchered it, so never mind. I was going to say it's 13-13, but it's not. Borg with the mark outside 50. Short little kick. Let's get Window that 13. Let's just try and milk a bit of the clock.
Might not be over yet. 5 seconds to go. Let it bounce. 13! 13! Can you believe it?
Jeez. Oh my goodness. That was an outrageous hit. Oh, we can't find a target. Window. Just trying to keep it all together. I'm trying to not panic, really, because I desperately want the margin to stay at 119 points. But that was an absolutely brutal hit. As the game is surely done, there can't be that much time left. O'Day, who spent a bit of time in the middle of the ground today. There is the siren. I was going to say because of the injuries, O'Day's been in the middle of the ground. But 2025 is officially over. And we complete the set. AFLW, SANFL, AFL. And that's a fancy stage. Obviously got the special one for the AFLW. And there is the Premiership Cup, a little bit different to the AFL Cup and obviously the SANFL Cup as well. And if anybody other than Piper Window got the best on, I would riot. But a fantastic accomplishment. What a performance by that young lady there. And the coach does a fantastic job. Gemma Houghton, probably her last game for Port. I don't imagine I will be re-signing her next season just because she's a bit older. And as mentioned earlier, I'm going to be trying to provide a bit of youth and provide a bit of star power to this Port Adelaide team next season. Even though we won the grand final without it, we are going to try and make this a dynasty of epic proportions. And just the 3-3 in the final quarter. Brisbane ended up kicking 2-1 in that final quarter. Window obviously was outstanding. Brooksby, probably rightfully so, with the 2 votes in the end. And I think it was Borg who ended up with the final vote. Sachi Syme with the 24 disposals, probably a little bit stiff. But 13 goals to Piper Window was amazing. And with that done, we can now have a look at the final AFLW stats. Let's see, obviously Window led the goal kicking league-wide, but obviously didn't finish it at the end of the season with the most goals. I think she had 19 by the end of the season. Finished up with 39, so kicked more goals during finals than she did actually in the home and away season, which is hilarious. Most disposals, that was Dawes from Brisbane, ended up with just under 450, which is actually really impressive. Borg, Window, and Mules ended up with, over 70 marks apiece, which was awesome. Richards had the most tackles with 56. Clearances was Dawes once again, and hit-outs. I can't see Schultz, or she's right down the bottom, 114 hit-outs on the year. But if we just filter it for just the Port Adelaide players, we can see who led the goal kicking. Obviously would have been Window. Schultz in second with 23. Mules with 17. Maloney missed the final game through injury. Howe up there. Teakle, but a lot of room for growth. Ewings was fantastic. Got a lot of the ball, as did Schultz. I could not be more proud of this team, to be perfectly honest, and just this entire club. But now we have to get through just our final bit of training, and we need to sign our state league players, because there's probably a few left that, a few players that we have previously signed that have now been drafted to other clubs. So what I want to do is actually have a look at see who's left. So in terms of like these guys like Wiedemann, Ferrari, Turner, Byrne, all these guys that were already contracted from last season, I should say, from 2025, and that are already unsigned, I'm not going to bring back. So guys like Rome Burgoyne, I'm going to keep. Cheeseman, I'm going to keep. Basically, if they're already signed up, they're obviously already signed up. And other than that, we're just going to leave it as is for there. That's a weird thing to say, but you know what I mean. But for the rest of the SANFL, I just want to have a quick look and see who is available. As we can see that, who is this? Shane Nelson? That name rings a bell for some reason. He's a little bit older, so I think he could be a good veteran for us, can play a few different positions as well. He is now joined up with our SANFL side, and I'm really just going to be looking at best player available. I don't know if I can sign players from other SANFL clubs. I'm going to try for Jonty Scharenberg. We can sign players from other SANFL clubs because he's got a bit of quality as well. Downey, we've obviously already got. Mitch Crowden would be nice. 26 years of age, could be like a mid-season draft contender. If we can get that going, that would be awesome. Are there any other players that I want to have a look at? Tom Blamiers? I'm not really sure how to say that guy's name, but we're going to sign him up as another forward. We can never have not enough forwards. Daniel Orgel as well. We're going to pick him up from, I was going to say that's Central District, but it's not. I dare say it is the Doggies reserve side in the VFL, so we're going to pick him up. Is there anybody that played at AFL level last year? No, we can't see. What about guys who played in the state championships? I'm assuming these are all last year's players. There's a few players here. We can see that there is Logan Simon, who didn't play actually any games at all for WA, so we may as well sign him, get another ruck. I'm going to go for Jace Stewart as well, who also didn't play for his state. Actually, we can't sign him because we've already signed our allocated players. Is there anybody that I really missed up here? I don't believe so. But the final portion of our video is now here. We've got the AFLW off-season. And this one is probably a little bit more complex than the AFL off-season, I should say. Mainly because everybody that I haven't already signed is out of contract. And I know that seems like an obvious thing to say, but everybody would have been out of contract at the start of 2025, or the end of 2025, I should say. So we've got 8 players on the books, and we can see that there are a few players that, were really, really good for me. Justine Mules, one of them. Maria Maloney, another. Woodland, another. O'Day, another. But the problem is with these players, if we go to offer them contracts, we can only offer them 3-year contracts, and they're like tiered. So there's 4 tiers, I believe. There's the $67,000 tiers, $76,000, $89,000, and $109,000 respectively. Now that in itself isn't a problem. The problem is you can only sign a certain amount of players to fit in each tier. So for example, I think you get 3 players in the $109,000 tier, you get 4 in the $89,000, 5 in the 76, etc., until you've spent all of your money. Now, we have already spent $700,000, so we've actually spent a lot of money signing a lot of our, better players, and our younger players as well that still have a bit of potential to grow. So, as I said, sort of indicated in the video, players like Gemma Houghton that are still very, very good, but a bit older, I will be utilizing in trades, not only to get draft picks and things like that, but to try and also get some really, really good young talent from around the league that I can fit into our salary structure going forward. Now, I think there's nobody else that I really want to re-sign right now. I want to keep my options fairly open at this stage, just because I don't want to use up all my slots and then sort of not be able to work it out later down the line. So fingers crossed, I'm going to have a look around and find some options. And our draft pick situation in this year's draft is basically identical to the men's side, because we didn't finish top of the ladder, but we finished on top of the season, I guess, by winning the Premiership. We get the final pick in each of the rounds. And if we have a look at the AFLW Under-18s Championships, I can see there is one player here who I am actually quite keen on, in Kimberly Friedman. She didn't play any games for the Allies in the Under-18s Championships, but there's a few other players that I do like the look of, but my priority is strengthening players that are already within the league, and then whoever we get in the draft will just sort of be whoever we get. My trade period is now done. We were actually very, very active. We did 6 trades in total, and we currently have, I think, 14 players on our list, meaning we traded away a lot of players. We brought in a lot of quality, and I'm relying on the draft, mainly later in the draft, because we're not going to be drafting very high at all, on filling out the back half of our list. First and foremost, we traded away Maria Maloney and Gemma Houghton, as well as pick 18, pick 36, off to the West Coast Eagles for, I believe her first name is Emma Roberts. Now, she is a very, very young midfielder, but I think she is going to blend in very, very nicely in our midfield. Now, I've done a few simulations just in my own time in the past on some AFLW stuff, and she is a player that I always try and target because she does develop very nicely into a very strong footballer. So I wanted to make sure that I got her and contracted her for as long as I could. We signed her up to a 3-year deal. All of the players that we have signed up are on 3-year deals, FYI. Our next player is, I think Wales is her surname. I can't remember everybody's first name, so I'm just going to refer to them by their surnames at this point in time. But we traded Woodland, Brooke, Pope, and Stewart off to Hawthorn for Wales, who we did mention in the grand final that I am looking to sort of, I'm going to say quote-unquote, upgrade the ruck position, because obviously we have Matilda Schultz, who's very, very, very good as a ruck, but she's obviously, with how the game sort of was launched, she's actually 20 centimeters shorter than she actually is supposed to be. So although she is really good in the ruck, she is not really that useful. So I'm going to find her another position to play on the field. So I wanted to sort of replace that with another ruck. Hence, we've brought in Wales, who all of these players are 25 years of age or younger. They've got a lot of potential. Some of them are obviously a bit further along than others, but I think we've done a fantastic job here. And we actually got a bit of a bargain from Hawthorn. I do think that because every player in the league is out of contract, and there's no free agency, like there's only trades, is that because there's obviously, you're not trading to keep a player contracted for a longer period of time. So because everybody's out of contract, their value is slightly lower, hence why that would be the case. So if you think some of these deals are a little bit funny, that's probably why. We then went back to West Coast and we got, I think Charlotte Thomas is her name, and we traded Gurmick, Foley, and Ebony O'Day, who, although was really, really good for us, doesn't have the potential of someone who can be a really, really strong halfback flanker for multiple seasons into the future. I also included pick 30, which we got from West Coast. We gave that back to them. We get Charlotte Thomas. Next up was not so much a salary dump because everybody is out of contract, but just players that I wanted to get rid of, but I really just couldn't find a trade that I thought would be any use. So I went to North Melbourne, grabbed a bunch of picks in the 2nd round, 4th, and 5th round respectively, and I did use all of those picks in late trades. We then went back to Carlton, and we brought in Mia Austin, who absolutely killed us in the prelims. She kicked 7 goals. She was incredible. We had to include a whole bunch of talent. So Justine Mills, who's obviously a bit older, Wendland, Ewings, who I think either one of those or both of those still have a little bit of potential, and the 27th pick. I think Wendland is the one that has the potential. And we got Austin, but we also got the 15th and 33rd pick. Obviously, Austin probably isn't quite as good as Mills is now, but does have the potential. So we're able to sneak a 1st round pick out of Carlton, which we then flipped along with pick 33, and I don't know what pick 65536 is. I think I included my 4th round pick is what that is. Because I don't have another 1st round pick. I don't know what that is. But we got Fitzpatrick from the Gold Coast Suns as just another key defender, because we did trade away quite a few of them over the course of the trade period. So I feel like it was important that we did do that. I don't know why it's saying that I have like all those picks or whatever pick I traded away. It was my 4th round pick. It was the one that I traded away to the Suns. I'm just trying to figure out what pick that would be. Oh, I know why it's saying that. It's because the trade period is closed and some picks go unused. That's why that is the case. Anyway, national draft time. You can see all of these picks and trades are the ones that we did. But if we go to that last Gold Coast one, it says it's an unused pick. That's why it says it was like the 6 billionth pick or whatever it was. Anyway, going around the league now. Sydney have traded Cynthia Hamilton to Collingwood for Nell Morris-Dalton. Alana Porter's off to the Adelaide Crows from Collingwood for pick 26. Ellis Gamble from the Bombers has been traded to Carlton for pick 50 and pick 27. Matilda Dyke from Essendon to Melbourne for pick 61. Alice O'Loughlin has been traded from the Roos to the Crows for Sarah Allen. Mackenzie Eardley has been traded from Hawthorn to the West Coast Eagles for Sandbaker? Sandbaker? Not exactly how you say that one. Michaela Cann has been traded from Collingwood to the Western Bulldogs for pick 28. Jenna Richardson has been traded to the Adelaide Crows from Hawthorn for pick 8. Taylor Gatt has been traded from the Kangaroos to the Suns for pick 33. I don't know how to say that lady's first name, but Anderson has been traded from St Kilda to Collingwood for pick 53 and pick 20. Amelia Yassir, who's actually a player that I was looking at trading for, I should say, has been traded from Richmond to the Crows in exchange for pick 44 and Sarah Goodwin. And then Maggie Gorman has been traded from the Western Bulldogs to Richmond in exchange for Caitlin Greiser. Zoe Prowse has been moved on from the Crows to the Bombers for pick 16. And lastly, Olivia Fuller has been traded from the Cats to St Kilda for pick 53. And now we're going to get into the national draft. We have 15 picks that we need to make, and our first pick isn't for a little while. I think it's in the 3rd round somewhere. So as I said, we've got a little bit of work to do building out the back half of our roster. I'm not going to show every single pick of this draft because I think we would be here a while, but I can see already who my first pick is going to be. It is Margaret Boyce, who actually is South Australian, funnily enough, didn't play in the country championships, but does have a bit of potential, and that was a very easy first selection. Next up, we're going to be taking Melody Parsons out of Victoria, and she was very quiet in the country championships, didn't actually play any games, but she is going to be just a small forward, 174 centimeters tall, so she is actually quite tall for a forward flank or a forward pocket in terms of AFLW standards. I don't really know if I need another small defender, so I'm going to stay away from Tattersall for now. There's Teresa Potter. That's not a direction I really want to go in. Balance, I'm inclined to pick because she does have quite a bit of potential, so I'm actually quite happy to pick her, Maya Balance, so that seems like a good pick. And then we've got our 75th overall pick, and then 83rd, which I can't remember where we got that one from, but I'm going to have a look around, see what other picks we can come up with. We're actually going to go with a mature age selection here in Jessica Ritchie. She is 29 years of age, but she is a 77 overall. I must say I don't know a lot about her, but we do need another key forward, so I think she's going to be able to do a semi-decent job for us. And this time we're going to go for Ellie Cook. She was on a recommended pick the last time we had a draft pick. I think she's going to be okay, and I think we actually own the rest of the draft through to the 97th pick. So I'm going to try and breeze through these fairly quickly. Wrapping things up at the back end of the draft, we drafted Petrevsky. I don't believe that's any relation to Petrevsky-Seaton. They just have the same name. She is a ruck. Alicia Jepp, she plays for Sturt. I believe she's actually the captain of Sturt in the SANFLW. Lauren Vecchio, just a mature age, but she can play a few different positions. That's all I need from her. Maya Ellen, another good key forward prospect. We finally drafted Tattersall with the 92nd pick. Mallory Frank, Jade Bailey, Sachi Syme, we actually redrafted. I didn't mean to delist her, but she is there. Evie Coucher, and then Kellis Jackson Martin with our final pick. We're done. Now, SANFL Guernsey numbers. Wow, okay. We are finally getting towards the business end of this season. We need to pick a captain for the SANFL this year, because I will give someone the #1 Guernsey in the SANFL. I just don't know who it is, because obviously it won't be someone that I will play in the AFL. I know that. So who's not on an AFL list? We'll just give it to Rome Burgoyne. He can be the captain. Why not? It's now time for the Guernsey numbers in the AFLW. It's the final thing I have to do. And we also need to decide who's going to wear the #1 Guernsey for this year. I have no idea who I'm going to give it to. I've given it a little bit of thought, and I've really just put it down to two options. I think it's either going to be Piper Window or Matilda Schultz. It has to be one of those two, and I'm going to give it to Matilda Schultz. She's the best player on the team in terms of overall rating. She's still very, very young. She's only 20 years of age, but she's already played 36 games, 29 goals for her career. I think there is plenty more to come from her later down the line. In terms of the other Guernsey numbers, I'm just going to play around with it, mainly because I have no idea whose numbers I'm going to give to who, and I feel like that's just time that you guys don't need to see me spending. Now, in terms of my funding for next season, the coaching line, I'm going to actually keep the same as last year. List management is where the biggest change is going to be had. Previously, I think I had it sort of something like this. I think what I had was like just sort of 3 stars, 3 stars, 3 stars, 3 stars. I'm actually going to sort of separate it into 1 star for list management, mainly because I want to make trades and contracts a little bit harder, because I feel like it's already been quite easy. So I'm going to lower that down to 1 star, but that also gives me more money to spend on my opponent analysis, seeing player potential in the league currently. I don't really need state league scouts, mainly because a lot of the players that are in the state league aren't that good. So I'm going to spend that money on under 18 scouts to try and find the best players in the draft. In terms of my fitness, that is also not changed. But with the remaining funds that I had from my list management, I put that into corporate sponsorship, meaning when I come to not this screen, I think everything here I'm just going to keep the same. The one thing I will do is I will drop the price of AFLW. And in terms of everything else, I'm quite happy with where it is. Match day activations, I'll pump that up as well. But when it comes to this screen, we actually get more signing bonuses and completion bonuses because I pumped up that corporate sponsorship thing. So what I'm going to do is I think we're going to go for the major goal. Win the grand final in the AFL or the AFLW. I think it's actually just in the AFL. And if we have a look at our upcoming objectives for the AFL, we need to win 4 games against top teams from last season and win 5 games interstate. But I'm going to leave preseason for the next episode. Our new look Port Adelaide team for 2026 is now here. Our players still need a little bit of rest, but I'm very, very keen for the upcoming season. Thank you so much for all of your support on the 2025 season. 2026 will not be too far away. Thank you very much once again. Please leave a like if you are new, and until then, subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Please leave a like, all that good stuff. I've already said all that. But thank you once again. I'll see you next time. Sloppy outro, but that's okay. Bye.